Why is the USA so rich, and when did this happen? The United States is one of the wealthiest countries in the world, with a gross domestic product, GDP, that consistently ranks at the top globally. But why is the USA so rich, and how did it achieve this status? To understand the economic might of the United States, we need to explore its history, resources, policies, and innovations that collectively contributed to its wealth. Historical context: the birth of a nation. The foundation for America's wealth was laid even before it became a nation. In the 17th and 18th centuries, European colonists settled in what would become the United States, bringing with them agricultural practices, trade, and a spirit of enterprise. The American colonies were rich in natural resources like timber, fur, and fertile land, which facilitated agriculture and trade. The American Revolution, 1775 to 1783, marked the birth of the United States as an independent nation. Following independence, the country expanded rapidly, both geographically and economically. The Louisiana Purchase in 1803 and the annexation of territories throughout the 19th century added vast amounts of land rich in resources. This westward expansion played a crucial role in America's economic growth. Industrial Revolution, a turning point. The real acceleration of wealth began with the Industrial Revolution in the late 18th and 19th centuries. The United States embraced industrialization, transitioning from an agrarian economy to one dominated by industry and manufacturing. The introduction of machinery, factories, and mass production revolutionized industries such as textiles, steel, and railroads. Railroads, in particular, played a crucial role in the economic growth of the United States. They connected distant parts of the country, facilitating the movement of goods and people, and opening up new markets. This infrastructure development not only boosted domestic trade, but also strengthened the country's position in global markets. By the late 19th century, the United States had become a leading industrial power, producing a significant portion of the world's goods. This industrial might was bolstered by the country's vast natural resources, including coal, oil, and minerals, which fueled factories and powered the economy. Innovation and entrepreneurship. Another key factor in America's wealth is its culture of innovation and entrepreneurship. The United States has been a hotbed of technological advancements and business innovation. From the invention of the cotton gin by Eli Whitney in 1793 to the development of the assembly line by Henry Ford in the early 20th century, American inventors and entrepreneurs have consistently pushed the boundaries of what's possible. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw a wave of innovation that transformed the American economy. The development of electricity, the telephone, the automobile, and later, the airplane, revolutionized industries and created new ones. These innovations not only generated wealth, but also established the United States as a global leader in technology and industry. Silicon Valley, which emerged in the mid-20th century, epitomizes the American spirit of innovation. It became the birthplace of the modern tech industry, producing companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Google. The technological revolution of the late 20th and early 21st centuries has been a significant driver of the U.S. economy, contributing to its wealth and global influence. Political stability and economic policies. Political stability and sound economic policies have also played a critical role in the United States' wealth. The U.S. Constitution, established in 1787, created a stable political framework that has endured for over 2 centuries. This stability has fostered a business-friendly environment, encouraging investment and economic growth. Moreover, the U.S. government has historically adopted policies that promote economic development. From the Hamiltonian economic policies of the early 19th century, which encouraged manufacturing and infrastructure development, to the New Deal in the 1930s, which addressed the economic challenges of the Great Depression, government intervention has often supported economic stability and growth. The U.S. also embraced free market capitalism, allowing businesses to operate with minimal government interference. This approach has fostered competition, innovation, and entrepreneurship, all of which are key drivers of wealth creation. World wars and the post-war boom. The 2 world wars in the first half of the 20th century significantly impacted the global economy, and the United States emerged as a dominant economic power. During World War I, the U.S. economy grew as it supplied goods to the Allies. After the war, it became a creditor nation, lending money to European countries for reconstruction. World War II further solidified the U.S. economic dominance. The war effort led to massive industrial production, and by the end of the war, the United States had the world's largest and most advanced economy. The post-war period, often referred to as the Golden Age of capitalism, saw unprecedented economic growth. The U.S. invested in infrastructure, education, and research, which fueled economic expansion. Globalization and financialization. In the latter half of the 20th century, globalization and the financialization of the economy played significant roles in maintaining and expanding U.S. wealth. American companies expanded globally, accessing new markets and cheaper labor. The U.S. dollar became the world's reserve currency, reinforcing the country's economic influence. The growth of the financial sector, particularly after the 1980s, also contributed to wealth creation. The rise of Wall Street and the expansion of financial markets allowed the U.S. to attract global capital, further fueling its economic growth. Conclusion: the United States became rich through a combination of natural resource abundance, industrialization, innovation, political stability, and strategic economic policies. The country's wealth was not built overnight but developed over centuries, with each era contributing to its economic foundation. Today, the U.S. remains a global economic leader, continuing to innovate and adapt in an ever-changing world.